What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol LCID for Lucid Group. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will, of course, be an update. We've talked about it extensively on the channel, and my goodness, this thing has a day up, a day down, a day up, a day down. It's just, throwing everyone for a little bit of a loop here. On today's session, the news that sort of you could attribute the move lower to is that they did announce an offering of about $1.75 billion in convertible senior notes. Don't really think too hard about what that means. All, we're going to focus on here is price action, right? At the end of the day, it's all about price action. So if we take a look at this chart, where did we land on today's session? Kind of right at this area of support, which we had mapped out, 35.87, call it 36 even. 50 SMA is down here as well. So the question has to be on everyone's mind, at least right now, is are we going to support where we've seen support in the past and put in a little bit of a bounce, or are we just going to continue to slice on through, in which case we know that our next major level to pay attention to is at 28, right? So there's a considerable amount of room to fall if we start breaking down under 36 in my estimation. So with that kind of out of the way, let's take a closer look at the 30-minute intraday time frame session. And I mean, it was straight down through today's session. I mean, if you look at the volume as well, it was elevated, right? If we look at the typical day, kind of hovering around this area, so I would say that's like sub 5, right? If I just draw that across, maybe it is just right around 5 and pretty much elevated throughout the course of the day instead of having peaks and valleys like we've seen in the past year. So that is noteworthy, right? A lot of selling pressure. Looks like people are bailing on the stock here as it's now broken down firmly, more firmly at least, underneath that 42.62. So what are we going to do about it going forward? Well, we're going to have to consult our Fibonacci friends here. Coming in from high all the way down to the low, here's a quick guide for how you can potentially think about this one going forward. Any sort of dead cat bounces that are produced, essentially watch for this number, the 38.68. If we resist at the 38.2, then look for rollover. Bearish consolidation happens. What did I just draw in? Big 30-minute bear flag taking us for a breakdown of the 36 to get into that 28. Now, can you participate in the up move? Yeah, sure, but there's basically no structure as of right now that would indicate that it's coming, right? We don't have a breakout point. It's not like we had some consolidation into the end of day and we can look long over those highs. It's just not there. So you would need to use your savvy day trader skills and say, oh, wow, look, a 1-minute bull flag off the open. Maybe I take the break of that to get us closer to about 38.68 from there, monitor for continuation, right? I can't tell you those things if we literally don't have the structure in front of us. So again, it takes a little bit more of a savvy trader to be able to identify that pattern off the open, identify that we are oversold potentially, and maybe there's a long trade there. But again, if we can't get back above that 38.2, then ultimately speaking, from the grand scheme of things, then this overall is just bear flag consolidation, as we mentioned, breakdown taking us for this move here. Now, things only start to change in my estimation if we can retrace the entire day's range and start closing candles back above about 43. And now, why is that the number? Well, if I take that off the chart here, what you'll notice is it was that all-important area of consolidation. We were holding up above it for a while. Even after that fake break here, we came back above, looked like we were holding it, and obviously things fell apart on today's session. So that is ultimately the number in my opinion to change the tone inside of Lucid. If we're still underneath that level, I would watch for sideways in here. I would watch for obviously bearish underneath and only looking for longs once again if we can take out 42.62 to the upside and start building some more constructive patterns going forward into the future. So those are my thoughts here. Again, fairly nasty move on today's session. The savvy day trader might be able to pull off some sort of opening range trade to the upside looking for a dead cat bounce, but I wouldn't push your luck. If you have a more set it and forget it type strategy, you would need some more confirmation, right? This is probably not the long trade for you as the chart currently sits. So with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and wrap up the video there. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.